going on. So I want you to take a deep breath. Let it out. Take another one. Center yourself. If you got somebody you can share this with, share it, hit the share button and say, hey, he's on. Listen to him. He's going to talk about something tonight. It's not going to take long. If you got a comment, hey, hello, let us know you're here. Wave, emojis, all those different things that are at your disposal. And also like, click like. Yeah, click like. There's a heart button, click that. There's a thumbs up, click that. Anything that sounds wonderful, just click that. And thank you so much for being with us. And also, I want to say to ALC and to all of our viewers and those who are listening, thank you for your contributions, your donations. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for taking the time to do what you do, because you don't have to. It's kindness, it's compassion. That's that God in us. That's what God is inside of us. It is that overall spirit of just lifting and joy and all that kind of good stuff. So thank you so much for what you do. This is my Master Key class. Master Key is learning a principle that you can take. You can use that one key and open up many doors. John chapter 14 says, in my Father's house are many mansions. Or it doesn't mean that in one big house there are many mansions. It means there are many compartments. There are many rooms. It's kind of like a hotel. You go through the door of a hotel in my Father's house and are many mansions or many rooms. And inside of that hotel are many rooms. Each room has something in it. This house or this hotel, there's one key. And that key opens many rooms. One room may be to learn joy. One room may be to learn what it means to go through trouble. How to get out on the other side. But whatever it is, that's what I want to give you the key for. To learn how to get through anything. Now, let's talk about this. John chapter 1, verse 14, it says, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And the Word, something spoken, becomes flesh, something that is touchable and lives with us. So it is possible for something that we say to become real enough that we can even see it or experience it or have it in such a way to where what we thought becomes something that we experience in our everyday world. That's right. It is possible, some of the things we say, that we can experience it just because we said it. That's how powerful our words can be. That word comes from a Greek word, logos, which means purpose. In other words, why am I here? Why is this going on? Plan. In other words, the blueprint or intent. What do I intend to happen in life? What is your intent in life? That's one of the most important things that we can do, is have an intention. We do things. Notice what they say. We do things on purpose. We do things intentionally. We do things that we plan. What is your intent? If you can decide what your intent is, you can decide that intent becomes real. It can become something that you can actually see. So if your intention is joy, it's like you can speak this. And ultimately, it will become flesh. In other words, you start feeling better. If I said joy, 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 joy. Happy, 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 happy. After a while, you just say, this guy is crazy, and start laughing. But look at what happened. That happiness, that joy, just for that moment, manifested inside of you. It's interesting how we can sometimes turn things off intentionally and turn things on. If we're constantly saying, I am poor, I am always down. I am not going to make it. After a while, your shoulders begin to droop. Boom, boom, boom. And you start feeling yourself going down, and you become many things that you say. Some people say, but you're lying if you're saying, I have joy and you feel horrible. Well, you don't have to say it to, them. You say it to yourself. This is how we're able to speak intentions in our lives. And the word became flesh. Look, everybody's talking about this election right now. Quick, we only have a few more days. If you haven't voted, you know you got to go out and vote. It's only a few more days of this. We're seeing things that we've never seen before. There are people that believe that this election is so critical and so crucial that whoever becomes the president right now can change this country. This country will never be the same. We will springboard one way or the other from this election point. There are things that people are saying to try to make you afraid of going out there and voting. There are things that people are saying, oh, it doesn't matter whether you vote or whether you don't. It does matter. Oh, it matters. You know why? You know who it matters to? It matters to you. It matters to me. It matters that I know that I voted. It matters that I did. Well, it doesn't count. Well, what do you mean it doesn't count? What difference if it does or if it doesn't? Well, my vote, they may take it, they may throw it in the trash. Well, if they do, you won't know it unless it pops up on the news 2 months later. It's knowing that you did something, that you had an intention and you made that intention. In my mind, I'm going to vote, but I'm going to vote. By voting, I'm making that intention flesh. Voting is your power. Now, I've been giving you little history lessons on our key classes, and especially spiritual history lessons. Especially where the church came from, how all of this was birthed. And back in the 1800s, just before the Civil War, as people were going to church, of course, we know there were enslaved people, years before that, decades before that. But people were going to church, black and white, and I can't speak to every race right now because I'm only dealing with what happened in church with American history right now. And black and white were going to church together, not because everybody loved each other and was just glad to be there, but your white pastors, they went to black churches, or even before the black church, the reason they came together was so that they could watch or hear. First of all, if you were black preaching, they wanted to hear what you were saying because they didn't want you to say anything about freedom. They didn't want you to say anything about I am or anything that would bring a sense of identity to the enslaved person, because if that happened, that person might get the idea that they were equal. So that's why they all went to church together, so they could watch the enslaved people that belonged to them. But there came a day when finally they kicked them out. They kicked the enslaved folk out of church and said, we're not worshiping with you. It gotten toward this Civil War and this whole thing of emancipation, and they said, you got to go. As a matter of fact, it was Richard Allen. He was on his knees praying, and they told him, you're going to have to get out of here. He says, well, can we wait till after the prayer? No, you're going to have to get out of here now. It was black and white in the church. He said, well, can we just wait? We've been going here. You got to get out now. And they threw all of the enslaved people, the black people, out of the church that day, that Sunday. And they went down the street or down the road, and they began what they call the African Methodist Episcopal Church, or the AME. They started an African Methodist church. That's how what they called the black church began, because they were thrown out of this church. So, this history started like this. And from there, they began to develop who they were and why they were. Now, as one church historically moved on, they began to talk about country, and they began to talk about building America, making America great. That's always been a theme. Most people don't understand when they talk about America being great, and America's got this is the death place of destiny, and America is the land of opportunity. What they're talking about is money. America is built on capitalism. It's built on money. It's based on money. Look at your money. Open up your money. What does it say? In God we trust. The God they're talking about is not the God that you're thinking about. This God is a different kind of God. This is about capital. It's about living the American dream. But you can't live the American dream if you don't have the money. You can't live the American dream if you don't have the rights. You can't live the American dream if the system itself is pressing down against you. You can't live the American dream. And everybody in the world does not want you to live up to certain levels. In order for a system to work, and for the rich to get richer, those who are at the top of the system to work, they got to have somebody who's working at the bottom so that the money can flow up. You say, well, there's some bad people sometimes come up on this tree, this fruit. They say, well, you always got some bad apples. Well, the reason they're bad apples is because there's something going on in the DNA of that tree. So we got to fix something, whatever's in that tree. That's systemic racism. That's what we're doing. We're fixing the tree. We're saying to America, people of color, not just people of color, people of white and black, all of them are saying, there's some things we got to fix in America. Because if we can fix it, then everybody can have a shot at this apple tree. But there are those that don't want you to have a shot because they think it's going to be more for them, but they don't realize it'll be more for everybody. So the first thing we understand is how a word becomes flesh. We have to see ourselves in our lives with intention. I intend to be creative. And it manifests. How long does it take to manifest? I can't tell you that. How long does it take an apple to grow on the branch of an apple tree? I don't know that right offhand, but I know it doesn't happen with a snap of a finger. I know if you see that apple tree and you leave and you go and it's springtime and you say there's just leaves there, and you leave and you come back in the fall, you look and say, oh wow, look at that apple. Look, there's been time between that apple, the time that you saw the tree and the time that the apple formed on it, and it looks like it's instant. You were gone several months, but you come back, it looks like it just happened automatically overnight. Didn't happen overnight. It was time. But you didn't sit there and watch it grow, because if you watched it grow, you'd get bored. That's how manifestation is. You can't sit and watch and wait for the manifestation to say, how come it didn't happen? Get up in the morning, how come it didn't happen? Get to the afternoon, how come it didn't happen? Is something wrong with God? What's wrong with me? Why is this not working? You have to, when you have that intention and you speak your intention, what you intend your life to be. I don't know. What do you intend for your life to be? You say, well, I don't know anything, because right now we're in COVID and an election, and what if Donald Trump gets back in office? What if Joe Biden gets in office? That's incidental right now. What is your intention for your life? Take it and write it down, just real quick if you can. Or sit down for a moment tonight and think about, just before you go to bed, what is my intention for my life? You don't have to have 5 or 10 or 15 things. What is something that I intend to happen in my life? What is my intention? Wake up in the morning, when you get up in the morning and you begin your meditation, What is my intention? I know one of the things that I have to do. Listen, I got to do this every day, just like you. Sometimes I get up, and sometimes I just don't want to intend anything. I just want to get a cup of coffee and just sit there and stare off in space. Then I have to say, come on, Ed, you got to do better than that. And sometimes I just sit there. Then maybe that night I'll beat myself up because I didn't get the kind of work done that I wanted to get done. But you can't beat yourself up because things didn't turn out in your life the way you want them to turn out yesterday. You can't beat yourself up because you didn't do all you wanted to do today. You can't beat yourself up because you made some mistakes today. You can't beat yourself up because you made some mistakes last week or last month. You can't look at your life and say, God is not here with me because, somebody else kept their job. I didn't keep my job. I'm here to tell you that you can begin again right here and right now. It says, and the word became flesh, tangible, and dwelt among. It lived. It lived. Your intention is not just going to manifest, it's going to live. And something live, it means that it starts off small, then it grows. Then it grows. If you got an apple tree, I always use apple trees, but just try a pear tree. If you got a pear tree, because I used to sneak them out of the yard of my neighbor next door to my grandmother. If you got a pear, no, those were peaches. If you got a peach tree, and you see those peaches on that tree, and you watch, you notice, you wait for that peach tree to get ripe. That's what my grandma, she said, what you do, where y'all been? And then turn around and see one of the peaches in our pockets. She'll take them out. Don't you eat that. Oh, Mom, it fell to the ground. No, it ain't fall to the ground. Don't you eat it anyway, because it's green. What do you mean? It's not ripe yet. Because the word becomes flesh and it dwells among us. It lives among us. And we behold it. It says they said they beheld Jesus as the only begotten of the Father. In other words, you behold something as something that began in the Father, in the supernatural. It begins in the ethos, in the space of your speaking and of your talking. That's where it begins. And as you get up every day and say, I am, and you start speaking that I am, not only that, you become grateful, and we beheld the glory, we beheld the reflection of God. Your intentions are the reflection of God. And you began to be grateful for what you have, Doesn't matter how much you have, or you may not have what everybody else has. Right now, everybody, I know that somebody have more than some others, but hey, it's almost about the same. Hey, I'm grateful for what I do have. I'm grateful for what I'm blessed with right now. The health and strength. If I'm listening, if you're listening to me, the health and strength. Be grateful for what you have. I never forget part of the prayer that my old folk used to pray. Lord, I thank you for a reasonable portion of health and strength. I'm grateful for what I have. The God that this all-encompassing spirit is everlasting to everlasting. He who he is, this I am who is in me, it makes that I am, And I'm able to be still and know that I am God. This life is growing. That when I speak, it begins the manifestation. I may not see it, but it was like a spark of light in the universe, in the spiritual realm. It just started, and now it begins to grow. I may not see it, but it's growing. I may not be able to view it, but it's growing. And ultimately it's gonna, and I'll see just a tiny, oh my God, there it is. Just growing out of the ground. There it is. And I keep watering by being grateful for it. Thanking God for it, for the manifestation of it. Huh. Wow. This is so amazing. And as I let it grow, I speak some other intentions. And as that happens, I got a garden of things growing. Some may not manifest the way I want, but some will. May not get everything I want, but I'm going to get something because I keep speaking that word. I'm prosperous. I'm healed. I'm sound of mind. Stable in my emotions. God made me unique. I am one of a kind. God has equipped me with every tool and talent that I need to succeed. Listen, that's who and what you are. Make sure you take a moment. Hit that myalc.org. If you're on the website, hit myalc.org. And you can give through that. Yes, your gifts count. I see every name. I see when as a matter of fact, sometimes I go online and watch your name just pop in. And I pray for you as they pop in. You can go on your cell phone. Type in 713-742-2035. That's 713-742-2035. 713-742-2035. Type it in your cell phone and type in the message, the amount that you want to give. Just type the number and hit that send, and it'll send it. And that's how you do. If this is your first time doing it, of course it's going to ask you for information, but it's only going to take a few moments. It's not going to take very long at all to do it. And you'll be signed up, hooked up with us. And if it's your first time, you say, I want to connect with you all. I want to be a part of your ministry. I want to be a part. I want to help you do what you do. I like being a part of this online thing. You can do that on the cell phone. That'll create your record. See how easy it is? See, if you were at the church, people would take your name, you had to fill out a card. But you do this, create your record. You're online, you got it on the books. Oh my goodness, we're going to be so glad to have you. You're going to be celebrated all over the place. You and hundreds and thousands of people, you become a part of our special place right now. Also, if this is your first time, hit that follow me button. There's a follow me button somewhere up at the top. Hit it, click it, and it'll make sure that when we come back on, especially Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, it'll let you know, and you'll be right here on time. Look for this thing. How to use your spirituality. How to use your spirituality. I promise you, that's going to be a series you're going to want to be a part of. Okay, let's breathe now. Take our time. Open your hands. Take a breath. Let it out. There you go. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for about 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let it go. Just natural. There you go. Do that 1 or 2 more times. There you go. Just let it in. Now, while you're sitting there in that space, you can close your eyes for a moment. And as you're focused on that breath, remember that you are in the image of the universe, the world, God. You're in the image of God. Be grateful for that. You are alive. The world is yours. Enjoy it. Open your eyes. Listen, you're going to do good. Make sure you meditate in the mornings, okay? Intent. See ya. Bye-bye.